Hello everybody, good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. And today I'm going to be giving my hero speech presentation on Stan Lee. So to get us started, I want to start with a personal story. The first hero that I ever met wasn't a real life person. It was someone from the pages of a comic book, and that person was Spider-Man. Now tied to Spider-Man was one quote, a quote that would later define my definition of being a hero. With great power comes great responsibility. This line, without knowing it, would be what defined what a hero was for me. And the man behind that line, Stan Lee, was one of the biggest impacts on how I viewed heroism. My purpose today is to shine light on Stan Lee's impact on storytelling, representation, and heroism, and show how that was all tied to him being a hero figure among the people. And my claim is that Stan Lee is a hero because he redefined what a hero could be and used storytelling to confront real social issues, which all had a beneficial impact on the future generations, such as me as a kid and everyone else growing up too. But before we do that, we need to start with some background on Stan Lee. He was born December 28th, 1992, and died November 12th, 2018, which is only 8 years ago, so that wasn't that long ago. He was an American comic book writer, editor, publisher, and producer, and what most of us know him by is, or know him as, is being the primary creative leader for Marvel Comics. And now we can finally get started on showing how he was a hero. The first thing that we will talk about is what exactly a hero is, so defining a hero. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, there are three main definitions of heroes that I think all of us could naturally claim. The first one is a mythological or legendary figure, often of divine descent, endowed with great strength or ability. So that's taking hero and into more of a superhero aspect, so people with powers. And C and D, these next two, they kind of tie in together: a person who shows great courage and a person who's admired for achievements and noble qualities. And our definition for this presentation is a person admired for achievements and their noble qualities. So now that we know what a hero is, we can actually get to showing how Stan Lee was a hero. And the first way is that he redefined what a hero was. Before Stan Lee, superheroes were often depicted as perfect people or godlike and flawless. And this made them distant and unrelatable, and also gave them external conflicts only. On this slide, I have an image of Superman, who I know isn't from Marvel, but he's a perfect example of a godlike superhero who seems like they're on top of the world. I'm aware that his human side, Clark Kent, does have, personal issues, but I feel like most people, they know that he has super strength. He can fly. He's an alien from another planet, and that kind of makes him feel distant and unrelatable. And even though he does, and that also makes him feel super strong in that any conflict he has just has to be external. But with Stan Lee, he introduced human characters that were flawed. They had real problems with school and anger, and that introduced internal conflicts. Two examples of this are the Hulk and Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a young teenager who was just a regular kid. He lost his parents when he was younger, he lost his uncle, and he had to be raised alone by his aunt until he got bit by a spider. The Hulk literally just turns green when he gets angry, so those are flawed human characters with human problems. This made readers feel seen and introduced responsibility and vulnerability as heroes became more vulnerable. And this also changed how people viewed heroes, because now people could see that heroes could also be human. But he didn't just change what a hero was, he changed what they stood for. And he did this by using storytelling to fight real issues. An example of this is with his creation of the X-Men as an allegory for racism. So in the X-Men universe, there are superpowered beings and regular humans, and the superpowered beings are called mutants, and those are meant to represent marginalized groups. And also there are two specific characters, Professor X and Magneto, who were inspired by civil rights leaders Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. And also there was the Black Panther and his cultural significance, because at the time of creating Black Panther, he was one of the first black superheroes in comics. And he challenged superhero stereotypes by introducing a black hero. Because once again, at the time, superheroes were often seen as perfect and godlike. And also at the time, this was around the 1960s, racism, it was also a thing, and being perfect and godlike was usually associated with being white, so this is why this was such an important thing. And also Stan Lee had something called Stan's Soapbox, which is a little box of text that he would usually put on the back of comic books. And while not on all of them, many of them called out bigotry, promoted unity, and encouraged, being responsible and morality and things like that. So this shows that he used creativity for social good, which reached millions of people and encouraged empathy. So, in conclusion, Stan Lee changed storytelling through representation and changing the meaning of being a hero. He didn't just create heroes, he showed us how to become them. Thank you.